Hey, Denal, nice job snagging first. I took your threat seriously and tried to make sure I started on time, but hopefully not when you got up. I have no way of knowing. I think we're okay, though. You didn't, I preempted the possibility of you annoying me too badly by turning on game news mode before the stream started, so... Okay, that's working. I was concerned that wasn't gonna work. My guy! What's up, Base Guru? See, Denal is a bot. His bot emote proves it. Denbot. He's gonna get my channel banned. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a fantabulous morning. No, social stream. I hate when you do this to me. My bot account is bot labeled and registered as a bot. You know, I need to probably do that. Is that a process on Twitch? To like just be like, hey, this is an account is strictly for like bot related activities. Robo Chrono, I don't know if it's labeled. I don't know how to do that. I need to. If that's like a process I can do. Well, let's get started. Everything looks like it's functional. We're connected to all the chats we're supposed to be connected to. All right. Do this. Hopefully that doesn't explode. Good morning, everybody. Listened to some J-pop yesterday to be my jam. Dude, I love J-pop. I'm not well versed in it at all, but I do enjoy it. All right, let me turn the music down. I gotta set that to be like automated when we open up this view. But good morning, everybody. Good to see you on stream. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the morning game news streams. We are gonna be talking about all sorts of stuff today. Mostly Nintendo's new direction. And maybe it's not a new direction, but there's quite a few things going on in the realm of game key cards and Metroid Prime 4 and just a bunch of other things that we need to cover. As always, thank you for being here. If you are on a platform that supports hitting a like button, hit the like button. If you haven't already, follow or subscribe, whatever the free option is. I'm not asking you to drop any paid subs on anything, but hit the free button to follow and keep up with the channel. If you like the game news, want to help support the stream, that's the way to do it. You know, this music is just not what I want this morning. You know, we normally did synthwave for game news. Let's just do some like no-name EDM. That'll probably be better. All right. Anyway, well, let's jump into our first topic here. Hopefully, I have everything turned on like it's supposed to be. All right, cool. I think we're good to go. All right, let's jump in with, well, it's August, and we got our Game Pass updates from Microsoft coming to Game Pass. I think these games all are dropping around the same time or within the next like week or so. But Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is awesome, I want to check it out. Nine Kings, Rain World, actually looks kind of cool. Aliens Fireteam Elite, Citizen Sleeper 2. I don't know anything about it. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. Again, don't know about it. Mech Warrior 5 Clans. Sounds kind of cool. And Orcs Must Die Death Trap. Which, seems awesome. Brent, what's up, dude? Good morning. Good to see ya. But, yeah. So, pretty solid month for Game Pass releases. If you, subscribe. I know I do. I definitely want to check out Assassin's Creed Mirage at the low cost of my Game Pass sub. But welcome in, everybody. Good morning. Good to see you. We're just talking game news. All right, let's move. I think I have an article to like support this one. Yeah, they talk about stuff available today, which is Rain World. Assassin's Creed Mirage is August 7th, so in a couple of days. Well, tomorrow. Bunch of stuff dropped today. Citizen Sleeper 2, Lonely Mountain, MechWarrior 5, Clans, all dropping today. And then Aliens Fireteam Elite is the 12th. Nine Kings, August 14th. And then we have some other stuff coming up. DLC, enhanced editions of games. I was looking to see what was leaving. Let's see what's leaving. Anthem, which is leaving, our entire existence very soon. Farm Simulator 22 and Persona 3 Reload. I really wish I had picked this up on. I guess I could still get the 10% or 20% off on GamePass, but I might wait until I guess it hits Switch 2. I don't know. That might be a thing. But yeah, so pretty solid month. Bummer to see Persona leave. I wish Atlas would leave their game, but it was in there for like a year or two, so there is that. But anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, we got Gears of War Reloaded has hit the preload stage. Pre-order, preload, download stage, so that means the file sizes are out. We can hop into that. Reloaded releases at the end of August. The game's file sizes are becoming available. According to the official Xbox app, Gears of War Reloaded will be 68.7 gigs on the Xbox Series X and S and 70.3 gigs on PC. The PlayStation version of the game has yet to be revealed, but it is based on Xbox and PC numbers. It should fall somewhere, but based on the Xbox and PC numbers, it should fall somewhere between that 68 and 71 gigs, which, hey, makes sense. When the official number is available, it'll be added to the story. And then Reloaded is just some details. Okay. So why is that important, though? Well, I mean, it's a remake of Gears of War 1, and it's interesting to see just how big the game's going to be. It looks like a pretty focused release. Doesn't look too demanding on the storage space. But it is a reminder that this game is very close to release, and it's going to be exciting. I'm very interested to see how well this particular game does on the PlayStation Store. But also just overall, if people still really love Gears of War, or did they just have fond memories of Gears of War? And so it's going to be cool to see play out. Also, just a ton of people getting to experience this game for the first time. One of my favorites from the Xbox 360 gen. So I love it. All right, let's move on. All right, we got a new trailer. We actually watched this last night, but we will watch it again today. Hopefully it's loud enough for you guys.
When the bugs came, everything we knew was taken from us. Hope faded faster than we could fight back. We thought it was the end of times. Turns out,
I love this.
it's morphin' time.
We watched this last night. It's so good. It's so cool. I can't wait for this. This new season of Fortnite is about to be so awesome. I'm so pumped for this. Shocking awesome. So we talked about it, I think, on Monday, but there's another Halo collab here. You can see the Spartan armor, blue team. We also have the Green Ranger. It's going to be a part of this season. I'm really wondering what the skins are going to look like in the Battle Pass. If they're going to feature 3 Power Rangers, and then the Green Ranger will be like the special skin that'll unlock midway through the season. And you just got to do tasks. But I'm also curious how the bugs are going to play on the map. If it's just going to be like this current season is like the Superman one, and they have these spires that you got to shoot out, and it's basically like some PvE elements, and I like that. I think those are fun. I'm glad they've been emphasizing some of those elements a little more. Game news. An amazing late like usual. Welcome in, Z. Good to see you, bro. How's your morning going? We were just rewatching the Fortnite trailer for the new season because it was so good, and I wanted to feature it in the game news. I figured it'd be worth talking about, but we are gonna move on now. We're looking at that. Looks great. Starts tomorrow. Maybe. Here we are. All right.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave.
What? Why are we watching Newswave? I don't want to watch Newswave. No, this is my news show, Spawnwave. Get out of here. Autoplay just gets me in trouble. All right, PS4 version of Genshin Impact is being delisted and shut down. Minimum specs for iOS and Android versions are also being raised. This is a question I've had since the current gen of consoles has launched. How soon before we see live services stop being supported on the older gen? At some point, the Xbox One and PS4 will not run Fortnite. It will not run Apex Legends. It will not run Warzone. Eventually, like at some point, this is happening. We're already seeing some games like Battlefield 6 completely skip last gen. And now we have Genshin Impact, which is a service gacha game. Largely single player, does have multiplayer components, but I think this game's largely single player. So, you know, I think this one kind of makes sense to happen sooner rather than later. But let's read the article. Popular action RPG Genshin Impact is being shut down on PS4. Developer MiHoYo says. In a post on the game's official website, MiHoYo stated that it would be discontinuing support and updates for Genshin Impact on PS4 in future versions. According to the developer, the decision was made due to limitations related to hardware performance and platform application size. PS5 version will be unaffected by this, as well as other versions of the game. It appears that, for now, only the PS4 version is being shut down. On September 10th, the PS4 version of the game will be removed from the PlayStation Store. After this date, players who have never downloaded the game on PS4 will no longer be able to find it, but those who previously downloaded it will still be able to re-download it from their library. PS4 players will be able to continue making purchases and top-ups after the game has been delisted, but this will end on February 25th, 2026, when all in-game purchases are removed from the PlayStation Store. Then on April 8th, 2026, all update support for the game will officially stop, and the player will no longer be able to log into the game on PS4. MiHoYo recommends that PS4 players start to transition their account to PS5 or other supported platforms before the shutdown, and says players will start getting prompts from December 17th advising them to do so. So very interesting that, like, with the platform size and Navi, you really nailed it. But with the install base for the PS4, that they're delisting it. You got to think though, we're 5 years into the PlayStation 5 life cycle, right? PS5 launched in 2020. 2026 is getting closer and closer. So the fact that it's happening now kind of makes sense. Maybe they see that the install base on PS4 has stalled out. They're not seeing growth there now. So everybody that will play Genshin Impact on PS4 is playing it. And they're giving you, 6 months about to figure out what you're going to continue playing the game on, if you're going to continue playing it. I'm wondering if this game is going to head to like Genshin, any of the Hoyoverse games, right? If they're going to start heading to like the Switch, I should say Switch 2, and the rest of the library maybe heads to like Xbox. All these are on PC and mobile, so if you've got an iPhone or Android that's relatively recent, you shouldn't have a problem running the game. But they did post about the game getting shut down with enough heads up that, hey, we want to add more stuff to the game, and we can't keep adding it and maintain the PS4 version. We saw this happen with, and very recently, because I picked up, I found some used copies, they were like $10, of Final Fantasy XI online on the PS2, and I was like, this is interesting. So I bought them because they were $10, and it's something you don't see every day. And I figured, hey, this might be like a fun thing to talk about, mess with, see what happens when you try to play it, right? Well, it turns out the PS2 and Xbox 360 versions of the game completely shut down. You cannot access the game through that, and that makes sense, right? Like you wouldn't be able to play all the new stuff on PC because the PC has newer stuff in it that that hardware couldn't support at the time and wouldn't support now. that's where we're headed with these. I mean, MMOs are a good example of how that works, especially console MMOs. Nobody should really be surprised by this, but it is interesting to see a game like this start winding down service for older platforms. Switch and Switch 2 are going to be first to start doing this, most likely. I mean, you know, we have this PS4 title pretty much being hit. Definitely feel bad for those who can't afford to buy one within the time frame. Oh, for sure, Navi. I mean, that's what happens. So if you have PS4 version, can you switch to a different platform now that it's de-supported? Actually, yes, that's exactly what the notice says. That MiHoYo recommends PS4 players start to transition their account to PS5 or other supported platforms before the shutdown. So if you have any capability of getting, like, if you want to go a cheaper route, an Xbox Series S will run the game, and that's supported for the time being. A PS5 should, I don't know, I feel like you can get a used PS5 for pretty cheap. Sell your PS4 to you know, somebody. I just feel like, yes, a PS5 is expensive. Not everybody can make that change, especially, you know, just suddenly. But they're giving you enough time to prepare. I think it's reasonable. But there's also changes on the mobile side, which let's read about real quick. Genshin Impact is available on iOS and Android devices, some which have less power than PS4. And MiHoYo says it's also increasing the minimum and recommended specifications for the game on these devices, starting with its Song of the Welkin Moon update. iOS version of the game will only work on iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone X, iPad Mini 5th Gen, iPad Air 3rd Gen, and iPad 8th Gen models or later. It will also require iOS 13 or above. Okay, so in Apple language, this is actually pretty generous for them to support this far back. So hey, that's actually a pretty good sign. The Android version will only support Android 10.0 or above, with 12.0 or above recommended, and will require a device with ARM v8, a 64-bit architecture, non-power VR GPU, 4 gigs of RAM, and a Snapdragon 660, Adreno 610, or Helio G88, Mali G52 processor or better. Man, that was a mouthful. This is why Android specs just... This is too many words to tell me what I need, but hey, you need 4 gigs of RAM and a pretty decently recent processor to be able to play this. Devices below the minimum specs may still launch the game, but may experience performance issues, including frame drops, instability, or crashes during gameplay. So it's not completely unsupported, but it's not really supported on older devices. Whenever you say MiHoYo, I just think of Doodleball. Yeah, that's funny, Z. What's up, Frost? I haven't taken the Nintendo Game Card survey yet. I will be. But yeah, okay, so with this, like, change, right? This is a good question for how consoles should be supported going forward with all of these live service games and just all of this happening all at the same time. You know, when Fortnite isn't supported on Xbox One and PS4 anymore, will people be upset? Probably. I have a feeling they're going to push it out as far as they can. The Switch version, you know, Zeke mentioned earlier, will probably be the first one to go. I feel the same with, like, Apex Legends. And then Warzone, probably the Xbox One version is going to die off first, I feel like. I feel like they just will cut that platform off before the rest of them, and then PS4. But it's just interesting as these games evolve and change and adapt to newer hardware. You know, at some point, there is a discussion that has to be had on what do we do with the older hardware? Do we keep trying to build our game around it to support it, or do we build it out further? You know, I think it's a fair point. I think it's a fair point. So yeah, if you're a big Genshin Impact player on PS4, buy a PS5 or plan to by, like, next year. But yeah, all right, we'll move on. All right. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 trailer showcases Star-Crossed World DLC. The Switch 2 edition of the platformer will be released at the end of August. So, I kind of expected this to drop via Nintendo Direct or something. Just a reminder that this was coming out soon. But instead, Nintendo uploaded like a 4-minute video to YouTube showcasing what all's changing and all the new additions to this game, the Switch 2 edition. The Star-Crossed World mode. Well, it's not really a mode. It's an extra, like, series of levels and changes to the main game. But we can read on a bit. Scheduled to be released on August 28th, the Switch 2 version of the game includes improved graphics and frame rates compared to the Switch version, which launched back in March 22. Most notably, it also adds a new story campaign titled Star-Crossed World. Players who own the original game will be able to purchase this in the form of an upgrade pack, which also includes the game's Switch 2 enhancements, which I plan to pick it up at some point. I don't know if I'm going to get it at launch, but I really loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's such a good game. Sorry, just catching up on chat. Nintendo got a new CEO a couple years ago, like midway through the Switch life cycle, I think. And you have this pre-ordered. Yeah, I would. I haven't pre-ordered it, but I am gonna pick it up when it drops. All right, so then they give us some bullet points: a new story, Star-Crossed World, a massive meteor's crashed in the Forgotten Land, and impending evil is about to be unleashed. So hey, there's your plot. Brand new story stages that's related to this. 3 new mouthful modes, which was kind of the gimmick. Kirby could like swallow an object to take on his properties instead of just getting a copy ability, and he would be like a cone or a wheel or whatever. New activities, Nintendo Switch 2 enhancements, which enjoy high quality graphics and faster frame rates across both the original game and the Star-Crossed World expansion with the enhanced capabilities of Switch 2. So it's a solid. It looks like a solid upgrade. Some significant like story additions. It's like a whole new mode, a bunch of new levels, and then changes to existing levels. So it looks really fun. It's Kirby, so it's gonna be good. Like there's nothing really bad to say about it. It's a $20 upgrade if you have the existing game, which I think is fair. I think even if you don't buy the Switch 2 edition, the base changes, like the improved frame rates, still apply to the Switch 2 if you play the base game on the Switch 2. So I wouldn't, if you don't want the DLC, you don't have to get it. And I think that's where people get all crazy about these Switch 2 editions. You can still get better performance by running the Switch 1 version of the game on the Switch 2, but if you pay for the DLC, you get more content. I don't think they're locking the frame rate bump and the visuals into the DLC. Now, if they do, hey, I'm wrong. That's kind of scummy, but it's a $20 upgrade. It's really not asking much. You've already paid for the base game. So I think it's great. I'm excited to pick this up. We may play it on stream. We did play through Forgotten Land on stream. It's such a good game. So you have the base game and DLC. You never played the game before. It's so good, dude. I hope they do a follow-up or like a sequel. It's so fun. It's weird, but it's fun. I loved it. All right, let's move on. All right, yeah, we didn't get another another Nintendo Direct announced, but we did get an Indie World announced for this week, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. I'm not doing a reaction stream to this, but 15 minutes of new announcements and updates on indie games coming to Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. I will watch it. I will share thoughts on Twitter, maybe do a watch along in Discord. It just kind of depends when I get back from morning workouts, and then I gotta rush my kid off to cross-country practice at 9. So, I don't think me spending, time setting up streams and getting everything together for this for a 15-minute watch is going to be worth it. Maybe something cool gets announced, but it's an indie world, so it's going to be a lot of charming, really great-looking games. I just don't think I'm going to get anything out of it doing like a whole live stream for it. So we'll definitely talk about it. I'll keep my eye on it. I'm excited to see what they show, but not excited enough to stream my reaction, if that makes any sense. But cool that we got an indie world. This is fueling some speculation that a full-on direct will happen next week or the week after. With Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, that all makes sense. So, we need a release date for it. That's Nintendo's like next big release, first party that isn't Pokemon. Like we've got to do something here. We need a date. So this is fueling speculation that the pattern was partner direct, indie world, full on direct. So I'm very curious how that goes. Having exclusive direct for indie games like one of the only things on the business side of Nintendo I like. Yeah, I agree. I like that they do the indie showcase. Xbox used to do it too, and I think they've kind of pulled back from it. But anyway, let's move on. All right, speaking of Metroid Prime 4, it's real and playable later this month. I don't know if we need to dive into the whole article here, but this is on Polygon. I saw this. Fan Expo Canada attendees will have the chance to go hands-on with the upcoming Metroid. And that's a North America like playtest situation. But let's look at the article, and then if I get bored, we'll just move on. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is still without a release date, despite some ads formally claiming it's out now. It's not. Instead, like Hollow Knight Silksong believers, Metroid fans have had to hope Metroid Prime 4 Beyond sticks to the 2025 release window it received last June, as the game was first announced 8 years ago. They're within their rights to be worried. A recent update, however, has renewed faith that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is on track for a 2025 release date. Nintendo will have a presence at Fan Expo Canada in a few weeks and will offer attendees the chance to check out the new and upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 games. Nintendo explicitly mentions that not only Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will be playable, but went out of its way to reiterate that the first-person shooter will be released this year. Fan Expo attendees will be able to play upcoming titles like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, available later in 2025, reads the announcement. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, and Borderlands 4 are also mentioned as playable at Fan Expo Canada. The cameo at Fan Expo Canada will come a month after it received a rating in Korea, another sign that it's real and it's on its way. Seems like that London Underground ad will be correct sooner rather than later. Of course, we still don't have a definitive release date yet. Nintendo typically releases one notable first-party game a month, and November and December are looking like prime real estate, for the highly anticipated sequel, if you ask me. So, yeah, it's playable. So hopefully, we see it soon. What's up, Ghost? Good to see you in chat. I don't know, though. Like, I really want... 2025, and then it's like, January 2026. It's like, well, fiscal year. Yeah, then it would be fiscal year 26, and I don't know. This is likely their November game. It's looking more and more like it, unless they have something else to show us. I don't know. I really don't know. We want a release date, Nintendo. We need it. We need the release date. We need to know when we can give you our money to play this game. And I'm really hoping 8 years. I hope we don't get Duke Nukem Forever, where the game is like, all right, we promised it, we'll release it, and then we play it, and we're like, what is this? What have you done? Rocket, thanks for the gift, man. I appreciate it. That's not supposed to be there. Wrong screen, you dolt. But thank you for reminding me to turn off the sound alerts. New Year's Eve release, probably. I do think what's going on is not development side. It's on if it can make it to the Game Awards in time. Yeah, I've seen some discussion around the Game Awards with this game. If it holds up, it holds up. I'm really hoping it's good. It needs to be good. 8 years is a long time to wait for a game. All right, let's move on. Next, all right, big story here. This is also part of Nintendo's new plan for the rest of the year. Nintendo survey seeks feedback on controversial game keycards, physical and digital purchases. So we saw this survey first pop up in Japan. I don't know if the article will cover that, but Nintendo Japan sent out a survey to Japanese players, obviously, about feedback on game key cards. Well, that survey is hitting North America. I think it's closed by now. I think they got plenty of responses and ended up closing the survey early. But let's read on. Nintendo has released a new survey designed to identify player preferences around different Switch 2 game purchasing options. The survey asks whether players prefer buying games physically or digitally, and seeks feedback on Switch 2's controversial game keycards, which have proved unpopular with some consumers. The only difference between a game keycard title and a digital download is that the former can be resold and will work on other Switch 2 systems without the need for virtual game card lending. So far, the majority of third-party Switch 2 games are game key cards, with only a few exceptions, reportedly because only one size of card is available to developers, 64 gigs. As spotted on Reddit, Nintendo survey asked respondents how many Switch titles they bought in the past year for themselves or for others as gifts. Participants are then asked how many Switch games they have resold after playing. The survey goes on to ask whether players prefer purchasing games in physical format or digitally, and what the main reasons are for their preference. It then lists various ways players can purchase Switch 2 games, including the game keycard system, which is described but not named as such. For each method of purchasing Switch 2 games, players are asked how likely they would be to use it, from definitely to definitely not. Physical requiring digital download. Okay, it's like a screenshot of the survey. Game preservationists have come out against game keycard systems, calling it disheartening. Stephen Kick, CEO of Night Dive, which specializes in modern remasters of older, often out-of-print games, told GamesIndustry.biz that seeing Nintendo do this is a little disheartening. Adding, you would hope that a company that big, that has such a storied history, would take preservation a little more seriously. That has been strongly criticized by others. Okay, so what's the takeaway here? They're asking for feedback. People hopefully are telling them, hey, we don't like the game key cards. It's not, it doesn't sit well with us. I think it's just the fact that so many big games are coming out on key cards, and then the fact that we didn't expect going into the Switch 2 that a shift like this was going to happen. And whether or not you like the key card system, I don't really mind it personally, except that once the game is taken offline from the eShop, would I still be able to download it? I don't know. Like, is that going to be a thing? Like, let's say the Switch 3 comes out, right? And it's some obscure game that only came out on a game key card, and I go to pop it in, it doesn't work. Like, I can't get the game. That's the concern. There's no that hasn't been addressed in any way, shape, or form. I don't think. So I don't know. And I think Nintendo's solution should be, if it's not already in the works, expand the cartridge size offerings for Switch 2, which should be happening. I think they just ran into a situation where, it's expensive buying storage. Storage isn't cheap. Well, I guess it is cheap, but their proprietary format and everything probably makes it a little more expensive than like an SD card. And then offering those things up while not increasing the prices of games too greatly to offset the cost of the physical release. All of that taken into account, the key card is actually a nice solution from the business side, but it's not a great solution for preservation. It's not a great solution for collectors. It's weird all around. I can acknowledge there are some shortcomings there. I just personally am not bothered by the key card system. Let's see. Personally believe the indie devs should use them and games over 64 gigs. That's it. Yeah, like I don't know. Why don't all companies do surveys? No, I agree with that. I wish like Microsoft and Sony would send out player surveys. That, I kind of wish these surveys were locked. If they aren't, I don't know. I've never taken them. I've taken a couple from Nintendo. It was a long time ago. But I wish they were kind of locked behind having a Nintendo account. Not saying you have to pay for Switch Online, but just having a My Nintendo account. Because I feel like if it's just an open link, hopefully it's not, but if it's an open link, people are going to spoof it and make it, or not spoof it, but like game the results and make it lean one way or the other. Keycards seem like an interesting solution for protecting the MMO account. For a game you play locally, it seems like a way to avoid sending out the real game. Yeah, hopefully, I think the manufacturer behind these, I think we saw, and it's funny, but I watched Spawnwave talk about game key cards yesterday. He was talking about manufacturers missing targets because they just have sold less storage. And I think that should change. I think Nintendo's going to start like reaching out to increase game card size options for developers and publishers to choose from. It's going to make games a little more expensive physically, and that means the digital price will go up too because, there's parity there. But I'm not too big on the game key card just from the logistical perspective, like what happens, when the game's taken offline. I like the idea Denali talked about protecting an MMO account. Like if I have some kind of physical key for an account or moving from like system to system that I don't have to like log in with, I can just pop the key in and that's my login. Hey, that's actually a cool idea. But for the whole game to be locked behind a key card instead of just being on the cartridge, it seems like a waste of plastic almost. Like a waste of well, really all of it just feels like a waste. With game prices being what they are, just give me the game on the cartridge. Put it on, make some 128 gig or 256 gig Switch cartridges. Hey, it'll be fine. People will buy the game. We want physical games. We want to be able to access them locally forever. Stop taking that away. We've pretty much lost that on Xbox and PlayStation, aside from like a handful of older titles. But I think by and large, Nintendo's one of the last systems where you can buy a physical cartridge and pop it in and just play from day one. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's a different solution out there. I just this survey shows that Nintendo's like, hey, why don't you like the game key cards? Why are we being like raked over the coals for this? This was a good option in our marketing or like testing. You know, when we were testing like how things would appeal to people, and it's like, yeah, it's a nice idea. It's just a little. It has some major pitfalls that need to be addressed. Dark Flyer, what's up? What's Nintendo doing now? Well, they're sending out surveys about how we feel about buying physical, digital, and game key card games. So hopefully, they're changing their plans. It looks like that'll change in the future. And they'll probably move away from this whole kind of botched idea. I think the messaging around it was confusing at first, overall. But anyway, enough about that. Let's move on. All right, I thought this was interesting. EA is pretty motivated to adapt Apex Legends for film or TV. I think this would be cool. Following its the Sims movie, EA could bring Apex Legends to life through linear media. It's according to EA Entertainment president Laura Miele, who told Variety publishers pretty motivated to expand the franchise beyond games. Players don't have all the backstory, the history, and there's just rich worlds and rich history with these characters and these legends that can come to life through linear media and partnerships. Pretty motivated to do that and doing that in a way that really respects and upholds the brand and the franchise. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. My whole opinion on this is I like the Apex Legends like story, and if they could do something like what's that show that they did for League of Legends on Netflix? Just do it in a cool animated style. I think it'd be really cool. Rose, waiting for them to ignore data and continue to price gouge for licenses rather than selling games. Buy games to own. I'm not sure why they don't want us to own games anymore. Oh, it's a publisher decision most of the time, and Nintendo as a publisher of their own games, you know, I don't know what their stance is on that. But anyway, yeah, I think they could do a cool show for Apex around. If they did like an animated thing, most of the like season like trailers and stuff that are like full animated have been good. All of the backstory, the lore things for Apex have been good. Like I think a show would be great. I don't want it live action though. Keep the voice acting, make it animated, and be awesome. That's where I'll leave that. Move on. All right, I thought this was interesting. This is a rumor, speculation. I don't have any concrete evidence of this. Starfield PS5 release planned for 2026 alongside Expansion 2. While more and more Xbox games are being released on PS5, one Xbox exclusive game that still hasn't been announced for the PS5 is Bethesda's Starfield. Given Microsoft's multi-platform publishing stance, it's just a matter of when the sci-fi RPG will be available on Sony's console, rather than if it'll ever be released. For those on PS5 hoping to play Starfield on their console this year, that won't be happening just yet. So it's not happening in 2025. But according to their sources, which I don't know who their sources are, MP First was told that Starfield won't be released in 25, partly due to the RPG's weak sales of the first expansion, Shattered Space. Instead, Microsoft is leaning toward releasing the Starfield PS5 version in spring 26. For those not in the US, spring starts in the middle of March and runs until mid-June. What we were told, Starfield's release on PS5 is planned to coincide with the game's second expansion and other quality of life updates. We're also not expecting any announcement about the PS5 version of the game at this August Gamescom, so don't expect it to be shadow dropped like Bethesda's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered release a few months ago. So I think this is a long time coming. We kind of expected Starfield to hit PS5 like all the other Microsoft games that would do well on PlayStation and have done well on PlayStation since releasing there. This makes sense. You know, tying it to the second expansion release also is a huge benefit to them, because then it's like, hey, new content plus all the other content you can get, but we're going to release PS5 release will be like the best way to play the game, unless expansion 2 is terrible. I don't know. I haven't played Starfield. I don't know how people feel about it. Everything I saw in it looked like it was kind of neat, but not really up my alley. I want big cinematic action movie sci-fi. I don't want deep, intricate, complicated sci-fi, if that makes any sense. It's personal preference. It did not look. It looked like I was playing Elder Scrolls, but in space, and I'm just not big on it. So you can keep playing No Man's Sky. Safe bet. Safe bet. All right, let's move on. All right, and this is the last article I got from Nintendo Life. Anniversary. No way is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island 30 years old already. But that is the case, and yet another indication that time is indeed marching on, and it seems that Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island has somehow turned 30 years old. It was released in Japan on August 5th, 1995. Yoshi's Island marked a significant departure from its predecessor, yet received widespread critical acclaim regardless. It also happened to be the last 2D entry in the Super Mario series for over a decade before New Super Mario Bros. Followed in 2006. And for being honest, the DS entry definitely lacked some of the ingenuity displayed in Yoshi's Island. Ingenuity is really the key word here. The original Super Mario World had this in spades, so Yoshi's Island had an awful lot to live up to, but by shifting the gameplay focus to focus on Yoshi, who was once merely a secondary character, players can now execute several new abilities, including the flutter jump, egg throwing, and simply gobbling up and spitting out your enemies. Yeah, I love the game. Just the fact that it's 30 years old, just a nice reminder of how old I am, and how old I'm going to continue to be as time marches ever forward. Kind of a bleak outlook there. I don't know what to make of that. But anyway, that's it for the game news. So we got a few minutes to hang out and chat. What any interesting things you guys have seen you want to talk about? I appreciate you being here. This is all I've been loving these morning streams. This shift to just talking and covering the news live with everybody instead of just staying up late and editing a show. This has been way better. Yeah, 30. Wow. Fun fact, Sims 5 will never be made because of the over $2,000 of DLC. I did see that. EA said they think it would be unfair, which is a surprising EA move. Or a surprising move from EA to not just go, oh no, you're going to buy the new version and none of your old stuff carries over. Sounds like they're going to be nice, but why can't you move over your DLC? It's 50-50. I totally understand. Crispy, what's up? Not to be bleak at all. The closer we get to corporeal death, the closer we get to the resurrection and return to Jesus. You know, that's fair, Crispy. Frost, I'm glad you enjoy it. The morning streams all work. Morning streams definitely easier for you. Yeah, Denali, I caught some of your stream last night. I went to lurk in it, and it decided to just play audio really loudly during my own stream. So it was very funny. A little awkward. Crispy, that's not bleak though, man. Like the you know, that's the hope. That's the eternal life we all seek. We're all seeking and have faith in. So I don't think it's bleak. Anyway, how you doing, Crispy? Good to see you this morning. Final boss of DK Bonanza is so good and amazing. It's one of my favorite boss fights. I can't wait to finish it. I don't know how many more streams of it I've got. I did see you finish Dream Drop Distance. Let's see, I can scroll up. I don't know how far back it is. I did see your message. I thought you'd put it in chat. I don't know. Maybe it was yesterday? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it beat Dream Drop Distance, now a top 10 game for you. It's so good, dude. I'm glad they ported it. I'm sick right now. I was thinking about a body that literally can't get sick. I know, right? It just sounds so appealing. Just having the perfect heavenly form and never having to worry about anything. You know, and that's why it's so important to stay like in the word, because you have to be reminded that like everything here is temporary anyway. And so like we might be dealing with stuff, but you know, Christ has us. He's on the other side. He's, you know, he's there for us when we need him. We seek the Lord in all things, and it's great just having the comforter, the advocate in Christ for us sitting at the right hand of God. You know, like what hope that gives me in the morning. A lot of times, just, hey, you know what? I'm breathing today, but I also got Christ in my corner. Final bosses are so difficult, but so fun. Dude, I'm so pumped to finish the game. All right, well, I'm willing to chat for a bit. Oh, Christ, over much respect. Dude, Frost. Yeah, I need to be more open about it. I am definitely Christ-loving video gaming fiend, I definitely could. I have a lot to learn about opening up about faith on stream or in any of my other content. But you know, I was thinking about getting in a couple of matches of Tetris 99. To what end, though? Well, it's a fun way to just spend the rest of the stream. Same here. Nice. That's awesome, dude. All right. Let's see. And there. I didn't like the Metroid theme as much as I thought I would. It was so ominous and destructive. But we'll run the DK theme and run some Tetris just to goof off for a few minutes. I'll get a couple matches in. And then I actually have to get to work, so. Ending was crazy, weird, and amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to get to it, dude. I'm so pumped. It's such a good game. Definitely in my like top 5, probably top 3 games of the year. I haven't played that many games this year, though. I'm kind of wanting to shift into more single-player games and try to catch up on new releases. I don't know. I wish I had more time to game offline. There's just no way. I would have to cut into like streams and stuff. I already like give up sleep to enjoy games. Don't tell anybody. A lot of people would have problems with that. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't really care what anybody thinks. I know what I'm doing. Well, maybe. The music is so good. Yeah, that might seem stupid, but there we go. Yeah, dedicated day to single player is a great idea. That's kind of what I've tried to do. I might back off from like the Unite streams and stuff. We gotta get rid of these shoe layers here. There we go. Grant, what's up, man? How are you? Welcome to the stream. I thought you were here earlier. Hope you're doing good. I could be getting confused with last night, though. So I think I'm about to die. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, if you insist. That's kind of a waste. There we go. Brain doesn't work fast enough for this game. It's when it speeds up, I start to like really mess up. It was dumb. I'm about to lose. Oh no, what? Why did it? That cost me. It locked that line piece down. Just have Unite in the morning, and on Tuesday it's ranked Unite. Oh, on Tuesday it's ranked Unite in the morning, afternoon. Well, I got away from doing the double stream days. I had to stop. Miss the last half of game news. Got to go back and watch. Yes, go give me those views on YouTube. Oh, I do have a watch time update for you guys. I checked it very recently, as in probably. Well, we'll check it this morning and see what it says because it updates. It's like a rolling window of time, right? We are above 2,900, which is fantastic. We're at 2,920 of 3,000 to get like the community features. Basically, what I call, and I think a lot of people call it. I'm not special. Partner Light. Where we can have like channel memberships and stuff, which would be great. We'll come up with some reasons to have people become a channel member. I think it'll be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to hitting that milestone though. Clear some of these. Yeah, let's wait. There we go. Membership on YouTube, I'm in. I need to like give people a reason to do it though. I don't want to just be like, yeah, pay me money to watch videos here. What, like, I don't know. I talked a while back about maybe getting like some merch done, some sticker stuff, you know, for people that like pay for like memberships on any platform. I think that would be useful. People might find value in that. I'm not trying to like lock in real hard here, but this game just demands so much attention sometimes. Ah, dang it. I meant to... Ah, it's fine. We got another line piece coming in. There we go. No. Crud. Exclusive videos on the membership. Yeah, that takes time to do, and I don't know how much time I could spend on it and not affect the the free content. If that makes sense. I gotta be able to do it in a way that doesn't hurt the existing audience. That would just suck. Alright, we're dead. Is the Tetris sound should have been Oh Banana? I feel like it should have. I never did pick up the DLC for this game, the Big Block DLC. Alright, I'm gonna do one more. I was just curious about something, and then I forgot what it was. It didn't matter. But yeah, I thought about doing like exclusive videos and what that would look like. You know, I thought about doing some, even for Twitch subs as well, doing some Discord activities with subs and members. You know, that way there's a cross benefit. So if you can only pick one, you still get like the benefits of both. I just don't know what that looks like, and I need some good brainstorming like sessions to figure that out. I should have gone over the other way. That's all right. We'll be okay. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be doing across the board. Dang it. Sometimes I quick drop and it's like, nope, that was wrong. I do want to get back on the Fortnite shenanigans with this current season, though. I need to look. I can't wait to see what the battle pass contains, because it's gonna be good, and we'll start rolling out some multiplayer queue stuff. Oh my gosh. Is it possible to have sweats in this game? Because that's what this feels like. I can't win. I'm about to die. I'm done. Dang it. It got stuck. Hey, thanks for the work lurk. Alright. That's it. I don't need to play anymore. I've got a few matches of Tetris 99. That's been our post-news game, and it's been fun. But, yeah, let's hang out here. Alright, guys. Thanks for being here this morning. I hope you enjoyed the game news and my poor Tetris skills. I do like Tetris 99 a lot. It's so fun. But anyway, let's find... Oh, my voice did a weird thing. Anyway, let's find somebody to send this over to this morning. What is even playing? Okay, it sounds cool. Frost, have a good day. Kyoki, welcome in. We are about to wrap up, so thanks for being here, but I do have to go to work now. Who would we send this to? You know what? We'll rate Pastor Dustin, because he's been live for an hour. Or is he leaving? Is his just... Yeah, he's just an hour in the morning, too. Dang it. Morning race stuff. Did enjoy. I get news from you other people don't talk about. Dude, that's good. That's one thing I've worried about. It's like, when I do the game news, am I just talking about stuff that everybody's talked about? I don't know. Alright, we're Raid Sword. He's playing DK Donkey Kong Country. No, he just finished up. Crud! Who do we raid? Everybody's wrapping up. Alright, Chow Fan H. She's starting. She's been live 5 minutes. So we're sending it that way. Yo, thanks for that follow. I don't know who that was. Kyoki on YouTube. Thanks for the sub. With news where if folks weren't talking about it, it's true.
Welcome back.
All right, we're sending the stream over to Chow. Y'all have a great day. I love you. God loves you. Don't forget. I don't know. Don't forget that Jesus loves you, and that's such a great reminder. We all need it sometimes. But if you guys ever need anything, reach out on Discord, Twitter, and pretty much anywhere. Whisper me on Twitch. I don't care. Love y'all. Have a great day. See you soon.